Hello, and welcome back to another pen talk. Thanks for tuning in, spinning that dial in my direction on the YouTube channel. Yes, it's a white box you see in front of you. As I explore the wide world of pens, I sometimes come back to a familiar favorite. Yes, this is a PenBBS 489, the touchdown filler pen, and this one is in Infinite, number 56 in their series of acrylic colors. Classic PenBBS box, slide off sleeve. PenBBS is embossed on the top. You got some black and red, magnetic closure. You flip it open. You got a nice instruction manual. And yes, English on the other side. And we have the pen. So you may remember that I got this pen also in vermouth. And to me, this is the other color that I had to have the pen in. Infinite. It's just a beautiful blue, somewhat transparent acrylic. And it kind of just complements, to me, I think, the design of the pen, the look of the pen, and you get to see a little bit of the reflection from the filling mechanism inside. It takes about 1 1/4 turns, which is nice, and we see a standard fine PenBBS nib, but for this pen we're going to do something different than I did before. I have this in vermouth, and I enjoy it in vermouth quite a bit. I've been writing with this pen regularly. I've just grown to enjoy it more and more. The nib on this pen is just absolutely excellent. But the nib on this one might be as good, but when I order PenBBS, a lot of times I include a parts kit. The part kits now include that new nib collar, a little bit frosted, which doesn't seem to have the cracking issues. Plus, we got a whole supply of O-rings. This is a phenomenal deal because those O-rings can be used in other pens. And I also got a calligraphy nib, number 15, coming in that little nib charm. And that's what we're going to insert into the Infinity 489. Beautiful packaging. I think these nib charms are excellent. And this is a nice color that I enjoy. They don't do a pen very much in this acrylic. They did in the beginning. But it's excellent. And that unscrews. They put a freaking O-ring there, which is just beyond belief. But one thing that does is when you tighten down this cover, it's going to stay tight. And there's the nib in an assembly, and it's that new assembly with the frosted collar. And it is an interesting grind. There's no question about that. Look at that. So I'd be very, very impressed with the writing. I think maybe I should have ordered a 14, but the 15 is the number that I liked. So this just unscrews from this top piece, and you see you get something that's just easily to screw into your pen. Let's do that live. So we just unscrew this. It takes a few turns. It's interesting, it doesn't want to come out. So, when it's a cartridge converter, in order to take it out, you have to remove the cartridge converter, and I'd forgotten it. In this pen, you have that touchdown filling system. Now it slides right out, so we can put in this calligraphy nib, just screw it right in. You notice I haven't flushed it, but I will flush it before I ink it up. So that's how easy it is to put in a calligraphy nib into any of your PenBBS pens. We're going to go off-site, clean it, figure out an ink, and write with it. So let's compare Infinite with vermouth. You may remember, those that watched, when I did my review of this pen, that white insert there at the top of the cap really doesn't add to the pen. Whereas in Infinite, it's very muted, and it actually makes kind of like an interesting detail. So I think that one can be very visually aware of the difference a resin can make, and that the components that are used should enhance and not detract from the resin that is used for the pen. But that requires some interesting logistics and manufacturing. Who knows if that's possible or not. Sword clips, very well done. They've always been very well done. But the vermouth does, I think, work better for the barrel. You still get a little bit of that reflection out of the touchdown filler, but you certainly see more of it in vermouth. And of course, the end of the pen is the end of the pen. But I really do like the infinite version of this pen more than vermouth. I do love both resins. Normally I like vermouth better, but in this case, infinite is the preferred resin for this pen. So what ink to put in? Well, a while ago, Venice Pens had a sale on PenBBS ink, so I bought a bunch of sample inks. Haven't used any of them yet. I did use the bottle I bought for the other 489, and I really enjoy the way the ink works in that. So out of those samples, this is the one I selected, number 513. And when I look at the color, I said, looks like a perfect match. Let's see how it works in the pen. So one reason why I hate these sample bottles is I push the pen in and use the touchdown filler. As I'm pushing it down, air bubbles out and it forced ink over the top. At least I collected most of it in this little vial that I used to support it, but I get my inky fingers. I'm sorry, I just don't like these samples. I like it in a bottle. If I don't like the ink, then that's fine, but if I do like the ink, then I got a whole bottle to use. So after I bought the number 15 Calligraphy Nib, I read about how it is a challenging grind. And I have a lot of experience with a lot of different grinds, and this one is up there as far as being challenging. It is very, very sharp. The grind is not rounded at all. Now I could go in there with some smoothing and some micro mesh and try to take out that, but then I detract from the original design of the grind. At a low angle, it works very, very well and feels smooth. As soon as you get above like 45 degrees, and to me, my normal writing angle is a little bit higher than this nib is good for. And then it drags, it cuts into the paper. It is a challenging nib. Do I like it? Absolutely, because challenging nibs to me are fun. And I enjoy trying to adapt my writing style to the nib in the pen, not having the nib in the pen adjust to my writing style. So you need to be a little bit flexible, and that's the whole fun part of fountain pens. No two are the same. It's not like a ballpoint. If you want the same writing experience all the time, then stick with ballpoints or a number 2 pencil. But this is not. This is a fountain pen. It's a fountain pen with a unique grind of a nib in it, which certainly is interesting to me. We're ending, like I've decided to end a number of my videos, with a pen or pens held up by crabs on a rotating turntable. And hopefully the light playing on these pens gives you a better appreciation of the aesthetic value that these pens have. And I do like that. And I've been writing with the vermouth one regularly, and I've really enjoyed the nib. I think it's one of the best PenBBS nibs, fine nibs, that I've ever written with. The Calligraphy Nib I put into the Infinite one is certainly going to be a challenge, but it will make many of my letters writing experiences, and that to me makes it great. I think these pens are an excellent value for the price, between $30 and $40 delivered. You know, PenBBS on Etsy is going to charge you shipping. Easy Buy doesn't charge shipping, but charges more for the pen. They seem to be readily available. Obviously, the rare resins that some people love sold out quickly, but to me, these are the only two colors that I would purchase these pens in, and Infinite, to me, is the winner in this category. So if you enjoyed this little view of another PenBBS pen that I find to be interesting, and I have grown to enjoy the pen, and it does hold a decent amount of ink, more than I originally expected, because the vermouth is still writing with the original fill, and I've written quite a bit with it. So I hope this video finds all of you safe, healthy, and happy, enjoying your pens. Hopefully your pens are adding to your joy, motivating you to do things like put ink on paper. And that's what these are designed for. In addition to being aesthetically pleasing, nice to hold in your hand, and just nice to admire, and for some of us to collect. So we've reached the end of this video. Thank you all for watching. We're going to say bye-bye.